Welcome, folks. I'm Jaby Koay, joined by Achara Kirk.
What's up?
We're looking at Black Myth WUKONG, the official trailer. This is from IGN's YouTube channel. So let's check this out. Here we go.
Goes away to the ox. Oh yay! Happy Chinese New Year, everyone! Happy Lunar New Year for all those who celebrate. You're the ox, baby. Wow. That's cool. Uh-oh. What is it? Be strong like a bull!
Did you see how it was moving? The bull at the end? Was that a bull? What is that?
Yeah, it was a bull.
Yeah, that was a bull at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see how it was moving? It had a certain sway to it. Yeah. And I was wondering if that was just the design of the character or if it had sort of a drunken fight thing going on.
I definitely got that like drunken style happening. Like, I really like the way the fight style looks, and this is coming from someone who doesn't know an awful lot, but I'm just going off of like sheer look and aesthetic. Like, it makes me excited to see Monkey just holding his staff that way and running like that, because it just feels like, you know, everything that I grew up with watching, you know, kung fu movies, or like just like ninja stuff, martial arts stuff when I was a kid, and just how cool I thought they looked. And like one of the bad guys, he had this cool like fiery sword, and then when he was kind of resting, he flipped it upside down, and it's just the little details like that that get me really excited.
Well, I mean, what's also cool about this is that there's definitely a fusion of a lot of old Chinese mythology. At least that's what's coming through to me.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I mean they call it out right at the top, right? Because they're timing this with Lunar New Year. Right. It's the end of the year of the rat. It's the beginning of the year of the ox, and so they had like the bad guy that he was fighting here was that like two-headed mouse or rat situation, and then they've got the bull coming out, and I just think it's so cute.
Right.
You're like, yay.
The fluidity of the main character you're playing as is pretty darn cool. I mean, he's a monkey, and so he's very agile in his movement, and that seems like a lot of fun to control and to play as.
Yeah.
And the world building that they're doing here is fantastic as far as I can tell. Because, you know, you see these Chinese operatic type films that are just larger than life.
Yeah.
And to be able to play in one of those worlds, like a Crouching Tiger world, but it's all occupied by mythological animal creatures that are in place of humans, that they're all anthropomorphized. Like, it's just really neat to see that, and to be able to just kind of, I wonder if it's open world or if it's more of like a very narrow trajectory through the thing. I mean, either way is interesting, just to be able to participate in this, you know, this made up universe. The one thing that was sort of throwing me though, and I don't know if this is like IGN's rendering of the trailer, like the copy they received, or like, you know what, but This is at, I believe, 1080-30. I don't know how this is going to render out on console systems. I would imagine by the time it hits your console or PC, wherever this is showing up, because I haven't done a lot of research on this particular game, I'm guessing it's gonna be PC first. I'm hoping that it has just next-gen quality. Just what it's showing here so far looks really nice in terms of the design.
Yeah.
I just wanna see it at 60 frames per second or higher and in 4K.
Well, we've got at least another 2 years according to the thing on YouTube right there, because it says it's coming out in 2023. So
then certainly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect that it would look really good, but I mean, right now what we're seeing with the cinematic and stuff, I literally thought that I was watching a movie.
Well, that's the other thing, right? And so it was shifting back and forth between cutscene and gameplay, and I could see the difference between the graphics of cutscene and gameplay, and I'm wondering if they're gonna be able to smooth that out a little bit more, or if that's just basically what it's gonna be. Recently I did God of War, and I need to do a review of that game. I just got to it recently. The transitions between gameplay and cutscene were often so seamless, I could not tell the difference half the time. There were instances where I was like, okay, this is definitely gameplay in terms of the graphics. They're not scaling up the detail quite as much because it's not tied in with the camera and whatever.
Right, yeah.
And so the difference between cutscene and gameplay here was a lot more obvious than it was in God of War. And I'm wondering if there's a way they can smooth that out to make it feel more akin to God of War. That's just like the what do you call it? The barometer for me now.
Yeah,
like
the bar.
The bar, yeah, exactly. Being a martial artist myself, this obviously speaks to me. It looks like a lot of fun, and it feels like they did some really stellar mocap with whoever's doing the monkey, anybody basically in this game.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, but like especially the main character, whoever they got on there was obviously skilled. It just looks dope.
It does, and I mean, like, I love the costume as well, like, because he looks like a badass.
Yeah.
I imagine, maybe, I might be wrong, like, maybe this has something to do with Monkey Journey to the West, right? Which is just such a cool story. He's a cool character. I love the mythology, and I love that we're getting an opportunity to play something that is such a huge part of Asian culture and is just so beloved across the world.
Some of the cool little tricks that the main character was doing sort of reminded me of Dragon Ball Z. And I'm sure that there's some sort of old Chinese mythological counterpart to explain that, but like the part where he splits himself up into 3 in order to do an attack at one point.
Oh yeah, because I think he's able to like pull his hair out and then he can like make multiple copies of himself and stuff like that, if I remember correctly.
Right, like Piccolo would do that, and then
yeah.
I forget who else could do that in the show, but like
it's super cool.
Yeah.
And I like that he has all of these different skills. It feels like, as you go throughout the game, he'll keep learning new stuff as he meets new enemies and just kind of unlock more cool skills. Like, what was that random thing where he was going through that hail of arrows or something, and then he just turned into this thing. He just started carrying like a bunch of rocks or something. Like, I guess that's
to block himself.
That's a good idea, to block the arrows. I never would have thought of that. I mean, I love all those cute little things.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for this.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that you can pick up new powers along the way is pretty cool. And this is unknown to us. One of my favorite game of all time is Infamous 2. In that game, one of the things I appreciated about it was how your powers just kept growing and growing and growing along the way, all the way to the very end of the game. You kept getting new powers to use against your enemies. It was scaling up in such a way that I felt like you didn't often see in comic book-based video games. I have yet to beat Spider-Man, so forgive me. Up until that point, like any comic book-based video game, you were sort of limited in what you could do with your character because it was all based on pre-existing lore or whatever you want to call it, and you don't want to deviate from that because then fans are going to be pissed off. With Infamous 2, you could go anywhere you wanted. You can make up any powers you wanted to keep it going to the very end. And here, this is something that is unfamiliar to us. I don't think it's limited or inhibited in any way by anything from Chinese mythology. They could literally take it anywhere they want,
right.
Which means they can keep scaling up new powers along the way, all the way to the end of the game. Depending on who he's fighting, he could take something from them in order to use that in the next fight.
Yeah.
Which is very, very exciting, like you're saying. So I think that's pretty neat. And it looks like there's a lot of variations in the kinds of enemies you're going to encounter, because when you take away it being human, you can introduce a lot more possibilities in terms of who your opponents are, I think, which is very, very neat.
For sure.
It's all fantasy and whatnot. So yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm down to play.
I can't wait.
It's a long, long wait.
Oh my God.
It kind of frustrates me that they like always put these like previews out like 5 years in advance. I'm like, what am I gonna do for the next? Why are you doing that? So, anyway.
But it looks really good.
Yeah, it does. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, all notifications. I am Jaby Koay. This is
Achara Kirk.
Peace out.